What if I told you Need for Speed Most Wanted, a game from 2005, can look surprisingly better than most racing games? Well, I have been finding out, and the results are seriously impressive. Electronic Arts never gave us a proper remaster of Most Wanted. As good as it once looked, the time has clearly taken its toll. So this time, I'm going to try and make it look as good as brand new game using some insane graphics mods, and I wanted to bring them all together in one place for you. The goal is not just to make the game look new, but to refine those iconic vibes so that genuinely feel modern again. Whether it's realistic lighting, textures, or full-on visual transformation, these mods can redefine the entire experience from the ground up. Now, let's get to it. Rework 2.0 is one of the earliest mods in this list, packed with numerous quality of life features alongside visual improvement. Aside from a complete revamped texture and shaders, it also features overhauled gameplay mechanics, police pursuits, and physics to make it more challenging. Stuff you will see in many of the mods I am covering, but for this video, we are mainly showcasing the visuals. One of its highlights is the sunset time, casting a warm orange glow across the world. Its vegetation is also unique, giving RockPort a unique late autumn feel. Everything about it leans into a calm, almost serene atmosphere while you play. In my opinion, it creates a remastered atmosphere throughout the whole game perfectly. Rework 2.0 is just the tip of the iceberg. The visuals will get much crazier from now on. Now this one is basically an upgraded version of Rework 2.0. It's been pushed further in almost every direction. With more improvement visuals like lighting and textures, it looks more realistic and modern. The new car models, engine sounds, camera position, soundtracks make the whole experience more immersive. It's a complete overhaul of the full game. In terms of identity, Rework 2 has better vibes, while Rework 3 leans more toward realism. Both absolutely nailed it. Modern Edition, or previously known as Enhanced Rework Edition, is somewhat similar to Rework, although the visual difference is very extreme. The retexture are crisp and detailed, the reshade is finely tuned, and the lighting feels natural and immersive, executed with impressive quality. For a racing game, the sense of speed is everything. While the original Most Wanted already handled this well, this mods elevate it to another level, easily delivering the strongest speed sensation. In my view, this mod stands out with the most modern, realistic, and refreshing visuals. Paired with its lineup of modern cars, it feels complete remastered experience. And there's also a wide variety of content worth exploring. Retouch is a mod that focuses on refining the base game's graphics rather than completely changing them. Developed by Payne, who also worked on a bunch of other mods in the community. It comes with full high-resolution texture package along with custom shaders, all designed to stay true to the original Most Wanted style. It upgrades the visual without losing the atmosphere the game is known for. It balances the old school look with modern clarity really well. On the visual side, it adds better shadow, smoother blur, improved lighting, new water reflection, small changes that make the whole world feel sharper and more alive. If we ignore the old school vibe for a second, the visual quality here actually feels comparable to something like Modern Edition. As for the installation, it's a bit more involved than the other. Not difficult, just not exactly one click and done. No Most Wanted experience is complete without that iconic Xbox 360 look. With over 150,000 downloads, the Xbox 360 Stuff Pack is the definitive graphics overhaul, bridging the gap between the PC or PS2 version and the next-gen 2005 console release. While the original PC Yellow filter holds nostalgic charm, it doesn't quite hold up to modern standards. Beyond the visuals, you get the uncompressed Xbox 360 soundtrack and the essential bug fixes, finally giving your PC the definitive street racing look it deserves. Fair warning, once you see this version in action, the vanilla version starts looking a bit too flat. Well, flat or not, at the end of the list, I will introduce you a special project that took almost 4 years to complete and change the game entirely. Redux 2.3 is a modding project that aims to preserve, improve, and extend the original experience without removing or replacing what made the game special in the first place. Sounds simple, right? Cause it is. And you can feel it right away. Everything is still familiar, just a bit more polished. The graphical improvements here are honestly minimal. You are mostly looking at the HD version of original textures, slightly improved lighting inspired by the Xbox visuals. It's clean, but not exactly game-changing. There are definitely stronger options out there if graphics are your main focus. Interesting part is, this mod was never really about the visuals in the first place. And once you see what it actually focuses on, it might completely change how you look at it. But I wouldn't rush to install this one yet, because there's something bigger coming, and trust me, it changes the conversation entirely. Next, there is Redux 3.0. It's doing more than just refining the experience. This one deserves a closer look. Redux took everything to next level similar to Rework 4.0, emphasizing more on delivering a solid experience. This is not just a visual upgrade, it's a full reimagining of RockPort. Redux 3.0 brings the classic back with a modern edge, faster, cleaner and deadlier. The graphics are very close to the Xbox 360 version and use the same texture pack as Retouch. It's not my personal favorite, but where it shines is consistency. And installation? Simple, just extract and play, no hassle. Among all the modes we have talked about so far, this one is a little special. It finally breaks the streak by bringing in nighttime, something the vanilla Most Wanted never had, and honestly, that has always been one of the game's biggest missing pieces. Now, to be fair, a lot of free modes tried to work around that by just making the sky darker, but that usually felt incomplete, like a night mode without a proper lighting to back it up. This one actually goes the extra step. It adds full day and night cycle, enhanced road reflections, rain effect on cars, proper street lighting, and a few other nice touches like tweaked weather, brake glow, and god rays. So yeah, this is not just a visual tweak, although it comes at a bit of a cost. This mode can get pretty heavy, especially on the latest version. If you are running on a low-end or potato setup, you might want to stick to an earlier version for a smoother experience. Now finally, when it comes to installation, it does get a bit trickier compared to the previous. The process is longer, but don't worry, it's not complicated, at least not compared to what's coming soon. Retex is one of the most dynamically visual upgrades on this list, bringing high quality textures for environmental elements along with its own unique daytime lighting. It also offers 3 different road texture options, with resolution support going up to 4K and even 8K in some versions. It's a full visual overhaul that gives Need for Speed Most Wanted world complete fresh feel. What stands out is the sky color and the overall tone. It looks noticeably cooler and more modern, which gives the environment a vibrant look. At the same time, that mode can leave a few gaps in the overall experience, but that almost feels like the part of the mod's identity. It shows creativity in a different way. The mod is completely portable, much like Retouch, although the installation can be a little bit tricky. The only downside is that I could not find a download option available anymore, so I got lucky by grabbing it early. But I have a good news again. Retex V2 is back as a Sunset 4 combined with its texture pack. That means it modified the sunset itself to match the atmosphere better, including lighting, day-night cycle and weather. The design is just as dramatically futuristic, that's kind of the point, but that style can feel a bit off in certain areas. It looks impressive, no doubt, but it does not always blend perfectly with the original vibe of Most Wanted. So if you are someone who prefer that old school gritty atmosphere, this might not be your thing. This new version, unlike before, keeps things a bit more focused. Instead of multiple options, it now comes with a single texture pack. In some situations, it can actually look even better than Sunset itself. You might be wondering, what is the best graphics mode so far? Probably Modern Edition or Sunset. That's not really the end of the conversation, because something that might technically outdo the rest in the graphics department. It's the one and only premium mode of the lineup. Among all the modes we have covered so far, Plak graphics feel one of the biggest leaps, pushing RockPort much closer to a modern racing game with a day-night cycle, dynamic lighting, HDR rendering, and this is not just a simple reshade or a quick visual filter. Plak goes much deeper, making street lights glow more naturally, reflection react better to the environment, and rain add a far more cinematic. Night driving alone changes the whole mood of the game. Suddenly RockPort feels darker, richer and way more immersive. More importantly, alive. Now the catch, it also comes in multiple editions, each with its own visual style. The version I'm currently playing is the free one. It still is a huge upgrade over vanilla, but the premium edition adds extra polish. So yeah, Plak graphics is basically what happens when a 2005 classic gets treated like it deserves a 2020 remaster. Electronic Arts, you just had one job. Now we all know Most Wanted is stuck at the autumn look by default. What if you could actually change the season? This is where the seasonal mods comes in. First one is Summer Retexture mod. This one is pretty straightforward. It is a simple texture pack that immediately turns the RockPort's dirty and gloomy vibe into a brighter summer setting. The lush greenery and cleaner dark road makes the whole map look surprisingly beautiful, but it only changes the world textures. Way too simple. Next up is the autumn retexture. This one is very similar, but it does add a little more. Along with the seasonal look, it also changes some environmental elements, especially the city buildings and hills. So while it is still a pretty light mode overall, it adds a bit more variation than the summer version. Similar roads, trees, almost identical twins. Finally, we have Winter RockPort. Now this one is a bit more interesting. Unlike the other seasonal mode, this one does not just stop at textures. It goes much farther and gives a serious chase to the whole graphics section. Whether it is lighting, shaders, textures, or everything combined, this mode creates the best winter atmosphere out of all the free alternatives. The devs really went all out on this one. It was a nice change of pace playing it. Remember, I told you about a mod that took almost 4 years to complete. Yeah, this is the one. Hot Pursuit Challenge. And this is not your average overhaul. It basically reimagines the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 inside Most Wanted. Instead of tweaking the base game, it transformed it into a full-on spiritual successor. So much work has gone into this that calling it just a Most Wanted mod almost feels wrong. Other than the core physics and the base layout of RockPort, everything else has been reworked. Even the city itself feels completely different. Like, aside from the roads, you probably won't recognize much. No more blacklist grind, instead you get a proper challenge-based progression, just like the classic Hot Pursuit days. Clean, structured, straight to action. The whole aesthetic shifts as well. The gritty yellow tinted vibe is gone, replaced with a brighter, cleaner look that fits the high-speed exotic chases way better. The car list reflects that. More supercars, fewer street builds, along with the custom police units to match. Honestly, it doesn't just feel like a mod. Almost feels like a lost Need for Speed title that we never got. This one is actually a bit of a hidden gem. I could not even find a proper name for it, so I just went with the video title I found, Remastered, and honestly, it surprised me. It has some of the best shadows I've seen across all these mods. The lighting feels much more natural and calm. Even though the textures are pulled from different mods, everything somehow blends together really well. At its core, it's mainly a reshade based setup, but it doesn't stop there. You know what it is. It's clearly trying to mimic a ray traced look. On top of that, all traffic and cop cars are changed. There are even some new cars added into the mix. It works really well as a compact remaster experience. And for such an old mod, that's definitely a big plus. The installation was rough. The latest version link was broken, so I had to settle for an older one. It still looks great, no complaints there, but getting it to run, that took me nearly 5 hours of straight troubleshooting and it's still not fixed. But hey, I can at least drive now. That brings our list to an end, but this is really just the beginning of what's possible. There are obviously huge mods like RTX Remix, Revamp or the Ultimate Edition that I didn't include today. Mostly because hardware requirements are just too high for most players or because I have found alternatives that actually works better. But I want to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of playing Need for Speed Most Wanted back in the day? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you enjoy these mods, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and thanks for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.